Please rise for silent invocation, followed by the Pledge of Allegiance.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Will the clerk call the roll?
Here.
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 Here. Item 4, Drew, I'm going to go ahead and let you handle this. The 2021 IBJJF Pan Am Championship Gold Medal recognition for Professor Regis Calixto de Lima.
And
How bad did I botch that? And Joe DeBella of Ralph Gracie Jiu-Jitsu Academy.
okay.
Take it over and fix what I just messed up.
Okay. He kind of botched it, but I do the same thing all the time, so don't worry about it. So the reason for today, over Labor Day weekend, there's a huge jiu-jitsu tournament in Orlando, Pan American Championship, second largest tournament in the world, and we had some pretty stellar representation from our local academy, and some very impressive performances. So I brought them here to recognize that. I'm going to read a little something into the record, and then I'll bring them up for the proper recognition. Okay, let me see if I can do this on my phone. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, fellow council members, we're all on a life journey. Some of the journeys have started right here, some have started from outside of Florida, and some even started from overseas. No matter where our journeys have started, life has brought us to traverse the journey together in the city of Port Orange. Regardless of where the journeys have started, our appreciation and sense of duty toward our city is what keeps us connected. As city council members, our duty is to help guide the city to its fullest potential. I feel we are all its custodians, and as custodians, we know that this city is one of Florida's best kept secrets. A secret that I love to share with everyone. As a councilman, I also feel a little bit of a responsibility to try to inspire people. One way to inspire is by recognizing fellow residents for their outstanding contributions, so that others may as well be inspired to take action. So it's a distinguished honor today for me to recognize Mr. Regis Calixto, the head instructor and owner of Ralph Gracie Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu Academy, and 3 of the students who live here in Port Orange for exemplary results. So first, Joe DeBella, a personal friend of mine, one of our retired firefighters, has been, he I believe, was the first student at the academy, and has been going at it a little over 4 years. He won a gold medal in his division at the Pan American Games. We have a local teacher, Mainland High School teacher, I believe, Liz Conquest. She won a silver medal. So I think her classroom is well protected because she can take care of them. Head football coach, I don't see Andy Price here. Spruce Creek.
Right.
Oh, he's hiding in the corner. And what are you doing in the corner?
Way to go, Coach.
So Andy also competed, and Andy won a bronze medal. Okay. So that's a huge feat to compete at that level and do that well. So Joe DeBella is a distinguished retired firefighter and actually one of the top jiu-jitsu fighters in the world in his division. Lives right here in Port Orange, of course. Mrs. Conquest is a proud mother, wife, and I mentioned a high school science teacher. Mr. Price, family man and football coach at Spruce Creek High School. All 3 recently under the leadership of Mr. Calixto, who won medals at the second largest jiu-jitsu tournament in the entire world, this year's 2021 Pan American Championship. Being that it's a world stage, world-class competition, it's a matter of pride to state that they live here in our dear city. As a student of Gracie Jiu-Jitsu myself, I understand firsthand why it is globally recognized, not just as one of the most effective self-defense systems and a full-contact grappling sport, but also as a lifestyle that has transformed my own and countless other lives. If I was to acknowledge Mr. Calixto for everything and how he's contributed to the local community by opening the academy, and speak of all his accolades. This meeting basically would be endless. We couldn't get through it in time, but I feel it'd be regretful not to mention some of his. These are just a few of the many dozens, perhaps hundreds of championships and things that he's won. But here we go. How about a 4-time Brazilian national champion? Okay, 3-time American national champion, 2021 Pan American champion, South American champion, Grand Slam of Los Angeles champion, American Cup champion, and founder and former vice president of the Brazilian Athletic Commission of Mixed Martial Arts. Also, Mr. Calixto works with overseas and local first responder communities, is nothing short of exemplary. Among others, he was a training instructor for the military police of the state of Rio de Janeiro for the 2016 Olympic Games. At the Port Orange area level, Mr. Calixto is recognized by both law enforcement and firefighter communities in his contributions to their defensive tactics training. Mr. Calixto's Academy is one of the first known academies in the entire state that is officially partnered with a local police and firefighter department, Daytona Beach Shores Department of Public Safety, to officially support and train their officers in reformed defensive tactics. Okay, a little bit more. At present, with over 30 years of competing and teaching jiu-jitsu under his 5th degree black belt, Mr. Calixto is considered a member of the martial arts top echelon. Excuse me. Since the opening of his academy in 2017, Mr. Calixto has put Port Orange on the world martial arts and jiu-jitsu map and turned it into an epicenter of future development opportunities. He's recruited thousands of people to train, visits and get to know our beloved city, therefore contributing to our branding and tourism. Mr. Calixto's journey may have started in the distant sunny Rio de Janeiro and then at Baja Gracie Academy under the tutelage of a combat sports legend, Jean-Jacques Machado. However, it's Port Orange where he has delightfully decided that his journey will continue. So in the name of the Port Orange City Council, thanks for representing, supporting, and everything you do for our community. So now I'd like to have Captain Fowler, if you will, could you come up and talk just a little bit about the partnership that he has with your agency?
Thank you, Councilman Bastian.
Yes, sir.
I didn't know I was going to be speaking tonight, but I can briefly tell you what a huge...
Excuse me, sir, can you tell us who you are for the
I'm
record, please?
Sorry,
man.
Captain Michael Fowler. I wasn't planning on being here as a representative of my city, but I'm from Daytona Beach Shores. But I'm excited to be able to tell you about this program because I hope this program spreads nationwide. As all of you know, over the last few years, there have been some really terrible outcomes when police interacted with the public, making arrests with citizens. It's been well publicized. And we realize as an agency, we realize as a profession that we have to do better. We have to have better outcomes. And the jiu-jitsu community was really screaming out to the police saying, we can help you do this better. And we came up with a program where every one of our new officers does a minimum of 4 months with Professor Calixto. They get in, they learn the basics of self-defense, empty-handed defense. They learn control techniques. They learn positions that they can get into and hold. And they learn how to properly handcuff and control people without necessarily inflicting injury. We truly believe, our city, our department believes that this is the future for law enforcement, that we're going to be able to make a change. Like I say, we'd like to see it go nationwide, but we're having great results. And a huge part of that is you have to partner with the right academy. We are so lucky in Port Orange. I recently moved out. Okay. We were so lucky in Port Orange that we have somebody like Professor Calixto here. I listened to Councilman Bastian. He talked for quite a while. There was so much more that I was thinking of that you can say about him. It's really a treasure. And the fact that he ended up in Port Orange, Florida, we are so lucky to have him. So I encourage you all, if your chief wants to, go forward with that. I know that Chief Proctor's familiar with it because I've talked to him about this program. I would highly encourage that if your chief comes to you and asks for your support.
Thanks, Mike.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Thanks for the explanation, sir. All right, if we could bring Professor and Joe up to the
Why don't you
Dais?
go down there, greet them, talk on the mic there, because
Okay.
you're gonna have to take a picture with them anyway.
Yeah, probably.
No, you're definitely gonna have to take a picture down there. No probably about it. Good to see you, gentlemen.
Good to see you as well.
Okay. So, I guess I can do this louder here. So for me and for you guys, one, I'm super proud of the performances. I was actually there to witness his. I saw his, I was working, but I saw his live stream. Both dominating performances. I don't think, as long as I've known you, I don't think I've ever seen you lose a match. He is very, these guys are both very talented. So I just felt it was important to recognize them for winning a gold medal at the second largest competition in the world. And I'm just super happy to be with you. This guy has transformed my life, fitness-wise and everything. It was a great thing. It's a great thing to be doing and be a part of. I wish I had more time. I'm working full-time now, and I can't get there as often as I want to. I'd be there every day if my body would hold up to it, but Joe knows it won't. So just anybody that ever has thought about martial arts or doing anything, I highly recommend jiu-jitsu. It's a wonderful way to learn self-defense and learn, like the captain talked about, learn the control techniques and learn these things, and be able to protect yourself and defend yourself and get in some pretty good shape. Again, I've known Joe for over 40 years. It goes back to 79, 80, I believe. I've only known him for 3 or 4 years, but they're both great people. And I just can't tell you how proud I am of the performance that, this competition. You guys definitely rose up and really did a terrific job. Super proud of everybody. Liz, I said, yours was terrific. I saw Coach fight. So it's just outstanding to see it. And again, Liz won a silver medal, and Coach Andy Osach, a bronze medal over there. And again, the second largest competition in the world. So it really was something to witness. I don't have much else. We need to get a picture, but if you guys want to say anything, I'd love to hear from you. You can tell us about the Academy a little bit if you want. But yeah, and for the record, if you'll read your, because we butchered your name, if you'll let Robin know, just introduce yourself officially. I'm going to step out, gentlemen.
No, you gotta stay down there, Drew.
Thank you.
I'll stay over here then, and I'll let them.
Because the picture, you're in the picture, man.
Good evening, everyone, and thank you very much for recognize my work. And my work is not to make the local business to make money. I try to do the same thing for the community. I try to help the kids. I help the different aids, and we have to focus more kids and women in the class. But every day is different for me here and from Brazil. I'm learning a lot here, and I'm so blessed to live in Port Orange. The city is very good, wonderful city, it's calm, clean, and thank you very much for the friendship coming here every day. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good. Go ahead.
I just wanted to say something briefly. I'm Joe DeBella, former firefighter here in Port Orange. A couple of you guys know who I am. Of course, Drew and I have known each other since we're teenagers. I wanted to say something about Andy. Andy's performance was particularly good because Andy actually was only a brown belt for about a half an hour, Andy, before you stepped in against some high-level guys and did extremely well.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. But what I also want to say is, you can see my professor. He's out of his element. He is a super high-level jiu-jitsu practitioner, but he's very uncomfortable because he's so humble. You would never know any of those things took place. He's probably got one of those pods in his driveway full of medals. This guy rubs elbows with the top guys in the world. You know, I would see guys at the gym, and then I would see them on TV, and he never says a word. Like most people go, hey, yeah, that's my friend. You never hear that out of him, never. And I've known him since day one. He's truly one of the great people that I've met in my life. And I've met a few pretty good people, persons rather. So I just wanted everyone to know how special this place is and the environment that he's created. If you're not sure, come in for a free workout. And this is not for any other reason that I know what it's done for me. And he is really amazing at what he does. So I just want to, let you know that he's typically quiet. This is the most you'll get out of him. He's probably mortified right now. Yes, extremely humble. But thank you. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Jim. Do you have any cards?
I'm sure we can find some. We'll get you the number. I have your number.
I'll bring you some.
All right. You
Thank you very much.
Thanks, guys.
Joe.
Oh, yeah,
I'm the only one who brought it.
we're gonna show the hard work. Let me show this. Just
Drew, you want to get the rest of the group up there to take pictures with them too?
Yes.
yeah, let's bring them all. So in case anybody was wondering.
Wow. Yeah.
Nice.
I was going to put it in my pocket when I pull my
Yeah,
pants.
well,
That's some, that's some hardware right there.
That's
Sweet.
awesome. Watch your back.
Coach Price can hang out for a while. He's got a bye week.
That's right. You read that, huh?
Hey, congratulations on a great year so far.
Come on, Joe. Joe, you got to. Come on.
Keep it up, Adam.
We'll bring you up again when you win Worlds.
I can't wait to see the Christmas parade float that these guys build.
Yeah. You gotta get
Hint.
a parade.
Great job.
Thank you very much.
Hey, Joe, can you still shoot the rock?
I shot the other day. The knees are what they used to
All right.
Thank you, Drew.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Thanks, everybody.
Item 5 is Domestic Violence Awareness Proclamation. I'm just reading the proclamation. I don't have anybody to present to you, do I?
We do, yes.
Oh, good. I'll go ahead and read the proclamation. I'll come down there and greet you in just a second. If you all want to go, come on up. Whereas domestic violence remains a pervasive issue across Volusia County, the United States, and the world with implications for personal, community, and health, and whereas domestic violence does not discriminate and touches all communities regardless of age, race, disability, gender identity, or socioeconomic status. And in Volusia County, approximately 10 people per day in Volusia County are physically abused by an intimate partner, and the need for safe house continues to be rated as survivors' most urgent need. And whereas the crime of domestic violence violates members of our community's privacy, security, and humanity in the form of physical, emotional, sexual, and psychological and economic abuse. And whereas research shows that by creating communities where the people are connected, supportive, and care for one another can reduce incidents of domestic violence. And whereas every day in Port Orange, individuals and organizations play a part in supporting people impacted by domestic violence, providing services including therapeutic, legal, educational, housing, advocacy, and medical services. Now therefore, I, Donald O. Burnett, Mayor of the City of Port Orange, Florida, do hereby proclaim this day in October 21 as Domestic Violence Awareness Month in the City of Port Orange, and urge all residents to become aware of this epidemic and become involved in efforts to prevent and respond to domestic violence and recognize the impact of domestic violence in our community. And it is so declared with my signature on this day and in this place. And if you do me a favor, speak on the microphone and tell everybody here who you are.
I have to put my mask on. My name is Odetta Originator. I am the Victim Advocate Coordinator, and I was just hired on board with Chief Proctor back in January 2001. 2021.
Usually when I read a proclamation, everybody gets happy. This is not a happy moment. Unfortunately, you know, it get a proclamation, people applaud, and then I saw a couple of you start to, oh, wait a second. Thank you for making that proclamation, but I'm not going to applaud it. It is a crisis. It has been and always will be, and the only thing we can do is be ready at any given time to meet the challenge. And we do that in part by awareness. And with that, I'm going to present this proclamation to you. And I'm sure that Christine wants a picture. Thank you for all that you do.
Thank you.
Absolutely. And with that, we have one other proclamation, and I see Dr. Peter Martin with us. Drug-Free Pain Management Awareness Month proclamation. In conjunction with what the state has done, the city is also making a proclamation. Whereas prescription opioid use and abuse leading to addiction and catastrophic outcomes has become a national crisis. And whereas the leading cause of injury and death in the United States is drug overdose, and a majority of the deaths from drug overdose involved an opioid. And whereas we are losing 136 people a day from opioid overdoses, and nearly 49,860 people died from opioid overdose in the U.S. in 2019, 70.6% of all drug overdose deaths. And whereas the total economic burden of prescription opioid misuse alone in the U.S. is estimated around $78.5 billion a year, including the costs of health care, lost productivity, addiction treatment, and criminal justice involvement. And whereas prescription opioids are often recommended for low back, neck, and musculoskeletal pain management, and whereas over 100 million suffer with chronic pain, and an estimated 80% of all Americans will experience some sort of back pain during their lifetime, and whereas doctors of chiropractic are educated and trained effectively to address spinal and neuromusculoskeletal pain with non-surgical, non-drug management, and they're trained right here in Port Orange. In great quantities, I might add. Now therefore I, Donald Obernett, Mayor of the City of Port Orange, Florida, do here proclaim on this 5th day of October 2021 as Drug-Free Pain Management Awareness Month in Port Orange, to raise public awareness that there are drug-free therapeutic methods to manage pain and to safely and effectively relieve acute, subacute, and chronic pain. And with my signature and the seal of the city, it is declared on this day in this place. Dr. Martin, if you meet me down here. And if you would just tell everybody who you are in the microphone.
Dr. Peter Martin, President of the Palmer College of Chiropractic, Florida campus. We are 900 students strong. We have 150 faculty and staff. Our training program is over a 4-year academic period, and like Mayor Burnett said, we're turning out a lot of doctors of chiropractic and doing it very well. We're happy to be in the city of Port Orange. I think many of you have driven by to see a building that's going up on our campus. We're very proud of that. We should be taking occupancy, hopefully, in November. And we'll have the dedication with our homecoming at the end of February. Hope you all come.
Perfect. Book me.
Great.
Congratulations. Thank you very much. And appreciate you doing this. And Christine's going to take a picture. And I'm going to present that to you, Dr. Martin. Good to see you again.
Thank you.
Thank you. Item 7, report from Kemper Sports on Cypress Head Golf.
There it is.
Okay.
Good evening, members of City Council, Mr. City Manager. Had the opportunity to meet him the other day at the golf course, Mr. Mayor. I've got a couple reports, actually. We're going to do both a little bit of some July and August reports, and then kind of finish up with a little bit of a overview for what we've had for our fiscal year, which ended on September 30th. So July was awesome. We had overall golf revenues for July finished 35% higher to our projected budget. And this is accomplished with, of course, incredible course conditions and great customer service. Definitely an increase in rounds, even with multiple days of closure with Hurricane Elsa, and there are normal Florida afternoon thunder showers. Golf Advisors, which is a function of Golf Now, rates our golf course with 98% referral rates. And it's been incredible course conditions, friendliest customer service in the county itself. Our range revenues continue to be higher. The budget and the pro shop revenues are also much higher to the budget, mostly as a result of a lot of clubs and merchandise sales. Month of July is actually our 10th month in our fiscal year, and our revenues right now yearly have been ahead by 15%, so the EBITDA remains extremely positive for our current year. Pro shops are higher to the budget, range is higher, and our payroll is lower than projected. Expenses are lower as well. It makes for a good combination. Our superintendent, Darren Bakke, he's been following his agronomic program. He's here tonight as well as with other members of our Cypress Head team. So I'd like to introduce Darren for a quick moment because he has been the spearhead a lot of getting our course back to the condition and for the course conditions that everybody's expecting for us for here in Port Orange. So Darren Bakke, if you have a question for him or just to say hello or...
Hello.
How you doing? Nice to meet you.
Darren, I just want to say that I want to let you know that since your arrival out there, I can't sincerely count the amount of people who have mentioned what you've done out there and the job that you do day in and out. You're not quite as popular as Reggie Hunter. And you got a little work to do on that. But I sincerely do want to tell you that we appreciate it, and we're very happy to have you in Port Orange doing, putting your talents to use here. And I hear it all the time.
Right. Thank you. I grew up in Port Orange, and I'm just proud to, be part of the change and make the improvements.
Yeah,
Thank
very
you.
good.
If I can echo that, because you always hear the criticism when it's around. You should hear the compliments as well, because I did get a number of calls the last few years prior to your arrival, and since you've been, I've also gotten calls since you've been here, but these were completely opposite reason. They compliment the improvement of it all. So again, just to follow along, you should be, you should hear those things as well. So I wanted to make sure you had that.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
I played the course firsthand before you got there and after, and I don't play well, but I can see a difference when I'm looking for my ball. So,
You sure feel better though when you're out there.
Yeah, I know. There's something about being on a nice landscape piece of land. So it's
Those
nice.
big divots, his.
Yeah.
Yeah, I apologize.
If you can open up the fairways a little bit more,
Yeah.
I'd appreciate it.
Get rid of the water in the woods, we're good.
Yep. That'd be too easy.
I'm just going to say my game provides you job security.
I need a few more alligators out there just for, chase some of those golf balls.
Perfect. Thank you.
Thanks.
So Darren and his team also they're doing a lot of regular maintenance, top dressing greens, and actually they do a pre-emergent weed control, mold cricket applications, which we all know is really necessary to maintain the course conditions the way they are. The staff at Cypress Head, we do a lot of individual lessons, but also a series of golf get-ready clinics for beginners and intermediate players. And we're also involved with the Kemper Sports Player Initiative, which is promoting golf for all new, both new and established players. And in July, we hosted actually 2 summer golf camps, which was really well attended and had a great time with all the kids. Cypress Head, of course, continues to build on the 2021 tournament season, and we've had several high-profile tournaments. The biggest one was the Port Orange South Daytona Chamber of Commerce, and of course, a great fundraiser for the Spruce Creek football team, which I know has been, oh, he's gone.
Co-chair.
They've got a tremendous season so far, so I hope they continue with their season. Our mind share, which is kind of customer comments, shows some incredible numbers. Our golf course is rated at 9.8. Service rating is at 10, and we maintain that 98% on Golf Advisors, which is tremendous. Month of August had a little bit more of some challenges. August itself, the revenues finished equal to our budgets. Basically, even the fact that we had airification of our greens, which really makes a top dress sandy conditions. And so a lot of people decide that they don't want to go to your golf course during that 10-day, 2-week period. So even with that said, and with lower rounds, we still managed to maintain our revenues and equal again to the budget. And the month of August actually is our 11th month in our fiscal year, and our yearly revenues continue to be ahead, which was by 14%. And so again, EBITDA is really positive for the current year. During the summer months, of course, the biggest factor is maintaining our mowing frequency. Fairways, greens, roughs is our first priority. And in this case, in the month of August, we did do the airification, which is a necessary factor to help maintain our green structures and the good course conditions through the winter months. The golf shop at Cypress Head is having some supply issues like pretty much everybody else in the world right now. I haven't been able to, I just got my first series of golf balls delivered today after 2.5 months of waiting for them. So at this point, all of the vendors, Titleist, FootJoy, Callaway, they've all been trying to ramp up to get stuff out, and we're hopefully going to see an increase in our pro shop in terms of both golf balls, shirts, and just miscellaneous items. So we're working really hard with our vendors to make sure that that comes through. Biggest news for August is actually we, along with Reggie Hunter and the rest of our team from Cypress Head, was awarded the best of the best for the golf course in both Volusia and Flagler County. So we beat out some pretty big into some other well-known courses, which I will not name, but we're very proud of this for the city of Port Orange as well. It's great course conditions and, of course, incredible customer service. Of course, all of this, for the most part, as always, we work with Sue Lavallo and her entire team at Parks and Rec. Any issues that she or the team has, we try to deal with. So it's been a really good working relationship between the city of Port Orange, their staff, and as well as my staff at Cypress Head. So I just got a little bit of a quick year in review. It won't take very long, but I want to let you know that this is the year that we are going to be doing a positive cash flow. So I don't have final numbers, so I can't really say what they are, but we're really excited about that aspect itself. So how do I move this? Magic. Okay. To the next slide. So this is kind of a year in review. Oh, there we go. Gotcha. So we're going to do some rounds by segment, some resident play, and some service and loyalty. So the first one here, which is really important to us, we break down all of our rounds. We categorize everybody that's coming into play to find out where they're coming from. And as you can see, over the course of the 2019 to 2020, Port Orange, our residents, we used to hear people didn't even know that we had a golf course in Port Orange. And that has changed tremendously over the course of the last year. So in terms of our rounds by segment itself, we've increased 29% for Port Orange residents. So we are really happy about that aspect because now people know that the city of Port Orange does have a good golf course. So we went to almost 18,000 resident rounds.
Wow.
It is big. Our in-moment golfer, which is our survey data, we had an 89.2, which is a net promoter score. And as you can see, for all the ratings at this point, they're all in the 9s, 9.5, 9.7, 9.0, 9.7. And really, when you think about it, over the course of the industry average for golf courses and hospitality, net promoter scores are supposed to be about an average of 48, and we're at 89.2, which is phenomenal. And in fact, As you probably all well know, Kemper Sports manages well over 125 golf courses in the country itself. And in this case here, Cypress Head is number 4 in terms of Kemper Sports for right now. So I'm really proud of that aspect, and I'm really happy to have Matt, my regional director, as well as Erica, our sales and marketing regional director.
You
with
didn't
us
leave
this-
yourself much room to move.
You know what? We can catch up to that 92 mark. I'm pretty sure we can handle it. Sand Creek's one of the top courses in the country, though, so I'm pretty impressed at where we are from that point. I'm very happy about that. Of course, we get 5-star ratings, and a lot of comments going back from some of the residents themselves. The one that really stuck out with me here was the Port Orange should be proud to have such a great golf course facility in our city. The course is in the best shape ever. The staff is friendly. Kudos to all. And more importantly, the other one that says like they've lived in Cypress Head for 17 years. The greenskeeper Darren and his team has done a great job with the greens and fairways. So having that support from our residents here at Cypress Head has really been a big help for us as well too. So I'm happy to keep them happy, but I'm happy to keep everyone in Port Orange happy as well. Ratings again, like I said, there are 98.0 on Golf Advisors, which is, again, we got a couple of points to go, but we are pretty good. And of course, the best thing, Reggie and I had the pleasure of being voted not us, but we were there to accept the award for the city for the best of the best in golf course in both Hometown News as well as the News Journal. So, and we look good.
Outstanding.
All right, that's all I got to say.
One of you does.
Thank you.
Reggie was in the picture after all.
Reggie was there. And Reggie, of course, as you well know, she's in the chamber. She's the chairperson for the chamber, but she's been known around Port Orange. She does everything for every event. She's always there, Rotary, everything else, and she's just been a tremendous asset for us at Cypress Head.
Excellent. Council, questions, comments?
Yeah, quick question. I saw something floating around on proposals for new golf fees. Is that something that you're looking at, or is that a miscommunication from?
Well, I believe that you are voting on the fees this evening for actually just to raise the ceilings.
Of course, I'm sorry.
That's okay. But more importantly, we want to remain competitive with all the other golf courses in the area. So this is just actually to raise the level that we are capable. We want to be with other golf courses. We want to make money for the city, but we also want to offer the best product possible.
And
Well,
that's-
I don't
that's
want
what I
to
was
get,
gonna add.
we,
Yeah,
we need
okay.
to speak to that when that item comes up.
Gotcha.
Okay.
Okay.
So that we,
I thought we were
We do
gonna. I thought it was
justice.
gonna be part of the presentation. That's my bad.
Good.
all I can say is, man, when the course is running well, when it's beautiful and you're making money, this is easy.
It's a wonderful thing.
Thanks, Bob.
And nice to see you all out either practicing or playing, so come on out and visit.
All right,
Especially now that it's cooled down just a little bit.
Yeah.
not much. Public comments on consent agenda items? There being none, need a motion in regards to the agenda for the evening?
Before we do that, well, I can move to approve the agenda, but I want to pull consent item 14.
We have a motion for approval for the agenda for the evening with pulling item 14 from consent.
Second.
We have a second. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
May I have a motion for the remainder of the consent agenda?
Move to approve items 10 through 13, and as well as 15 and 16 on consent agenda.
Second.
We have a motion and a proper second, and the remainder of consent. Call the roll.
Councilmember Foley.
Yes.
Councilmember Tremont.
Yes.
Councilmember Silver.
Yes.
Vice Mayor Baxter.
Yes.
Mayor Burnett.
Yes. Consent agenda is approved 5-0. Item 14 is the approval of major special event request for Daytona Original First Turn Biketoberfest event. Couple reasons for pulling this. First of all, well-established business but new owners, and they haven't been through this process before. So Penny, I wouldn't mind it if you would recap what it is that's on the agenda for approval for tonight, and then we'll allow them to introduce themselves, because I want people to know them and their business, and they can speak to that as well. So
Good evening, Penelope Cruz Planning. So before you is a Biketoberfest major special event request.
Okay, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Okay. From the new owner of Daytona's original First Turn. They are requesting event to coincide with the 4 days of Biketoberfest, which is Thursday, October 14th through Sunday, October 17th. They are requesting this 4-day event with daily hours of 11 a.m. to midnight daily. The agenda item before you has the outdoor music ending at 10 p.m. The applicant would like to request an hour extension for music to 11 p.m. Whichever way the council goes with that request, it is going to be up to the applicant to ensure that they are adhering to the city's noise ordinance throughout the day. The applicant's also responsible for making sure that they adhere to the 3 pages of conditions that are part of this packet. They will be required to sign those conditions before they pick up their permit if this is approved tonight. They are, as part of their packet, requesting, part of their request including 4 vendors. Each of those vendors are going to be required to pay a vendor fee before the permit is issued, and the applicant will also be required to pay the $250 surety bond before the permit is issued. The application before you is for an event to be completely within the boundaries of the subject property. I know the applicant would like to discuss a few items about that, but what is before you tonight, what is included in your packet, and the staff conditions are for the event that is just within the boundaries of this property. And like I said, there's 3 pages of conditions. I won't go over all of them, but here to answer any questions you have.
Okay. Before we go to them, I just wanted to ask a clarifying question. What we have in the staff recommendation for approval, this is what we normally approve on a year in, year out basis?
Correct. Every year, all of the Bike Week and Biketoberfest events have pretty much the same kind of conditions included, as well as the music ending at 10 p.m. Every year we have that condition in there. There have been times where people have asked for later time frames, but the council has stuck to that 10 p.m. and the surety bond not being waived for bike events.
Okay. And I just wanted to make sure we are consistent. So if we vary from any of that, there are no variances in there right now.
No.
So if we vary from that, I want to be clear, the 5 of us up here, what that means.
Correct.
Okay.
Mayor, can I just make a point about the 10 p.m. deadline? So part of the special event application is for the outdoor music, but we also have a noise ordinance that really changes significantly at 10 p.m. So it's, I think that's why it's been the standard. I don't think it's just been, just because we like 10 p.m. as a number. It's been, that's when the regulation changes. So I almost want to caution council about setting up for failure if it's, by allowing a band to be outside playing outdoors after 10 p.m., it would still be required to meet the decibel levels that reduce after 10 p.m. And I just wanted to point that out before you make that call.
Okay. Thanks, Matt. All right. Well, let's hear from the applicant. Good. Well, first of all, congratulations.
Thank you. My fiance and myself decided that we were going to open a bar and restaurant, and didn't really anticipate on opening a 31-year-old business and continuing on with this big monster. But we, for the last 63 days, have worked tirelessly overnight through the days to improve the things they've done over 31 years. I'll start by saying that the city has been...
do me a favor, say your name for the record.
Oh, I'm sorry. My name is Shane Snipes.
And that's helpful, because if I go any further, I'm going to get a nasty look from
No,
our
I'm
city
sorry.
clerk, so. Thank you.
And, I will say that the city has been over, above, and beyond grateful and helpful on putting stuff together for us. There was lots of issues that we have worked through, whether it be safety or just things that need to be upgraded. Both building inspectors were there today, and absolutely was so excited that we've gotten so much done. We do want to move forward with Bike Week and continue it into Port Orange as it's been over all the years, and continue the type of service that the city has provided, whether it be the police, whether it be traffic, whatever the case may be. We want to continue those type of things moving forward. And I think that, and with Bike Week, we want to make sure that the people have something to stay in Port Orange. You know, I don't want them to leave at 10 o'clock at night and go somewhere else, because the noise just alone from the motorcycles is more noise than we can ever create.
Yeah.
And I know that it does come down, and I would like that extra hour of time, because by the time people get there from being other things, by the time they get there from dinner and so on, you know, 10 o'clock is very early during Bike Week or any event. You know, we all know when we go out by 10 o'clock, everybody's going, where's the party at, what's going on? And they're leaving our facility going somewhere else. We are eventually working on opening back up the inside. So all we have right now at this point is our outside pavilion area. So, you know, I'm okay with at 10 o'clock, you know, lowering it down a decimal or two, because that's the way that, you know, it's written. But, you know, at least allowing us to keep the entertainment going, keeping the people entertained, and keeping the business here in Port Orange. So that's why I come to you guys to just ask for a little extra time moving forward, so that, you know, we can continue to keep our bikers here in Port Orange.
Well, first of all, like I said, congratulations. It's not like you gave birth to a new baby.
No.
You've taken on a very well-established, well-respected business, and you're trying to find ways to move it forward. Yes,
Absolutely, and we've done so much. And we're going to open up the inside back, and you know,
Can't
just
wait.
so many things. But I've been a resident here for 49 years. I've known Drew, you know, my whole life, and
You
know,
shouldn't
we
have mentioned that. I'm
Yeah.
not sure that's gonna help.
You might not.
You know, it's so nice to be able to do this in Port Orange and have the help that we've gotten. I mean, I honestly thought we were going to have huge issues and problems when we're going to have to start doing things, and everybody has been, how can we help? So, and I hope we continue on with that, you know, through Biketoberfest and moving forward.
Okay. Let me see if these guys up here have questions for you.
I'll have a question for Penny afterwards, but no question. Congratulations.
Thank you.
How have you known Drew for 49 years? You look like you're in your 30s.
Thank you. Oh, well.
You should have
Now-
seen him when he was a teenager.
Right.
He looked like a
Before
little
this
kid.
restaurant, next time you guys see me, I'll probably look
Yeah, it'll all be
65
gray,
in 2 weeks.
and- yeah.
Nature of
That's
the
the only
beast.
question I had.
Yeah, thank you.
Thanks, Shane.
Thank you, guys.
Yeah, hold on.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, we have known each other a long time, but I do want to congratulate you on taking that over.
Thank you.
I'm sure you're aware, many, many years ago, they had a small fire there. It wasn't that small, actually, but it was a big fire. So I actually worked at your building overnight one evening, several.
Oh, yeah, we've heard the stories about that fire
several
many
years
times.
ago, and they did a great job rebuilding and redoing it. They had to do a lot of, I think, to the second floor, a lot
Absolutely.
of extensive work and everything. Is there any way, I mean, legally we can even consider this, or is it just off limits completely?
I think that is something that we have to consider, because, you know, we've got the advice of the attorney right now. We do not have a motion on the floor yet, and that'll be up to you guys after we have discussion.
Are there any other bars with live entertainment play until 11?
Well, all the county says 11 p.m., but the city of Port Orange says, you know, 10.
That's our city
Nobody-
standard.
Shane, first of all, congratulations as well.
Thank you.
So we're glad to have you, and you're right, it's a historic business, been around a long time. A couple of thoughts and more comments, then I have questions for you. So where we are today with how we regulate and what we do isn't because of last year or the year before. This has been, that I'm well aware of, dates back to the 80s of trying things that didn't work out. Some things worked and we kept them, and how do we do traffic and what do we do with noise and all that. And I can assure you that many, many years ago, there were a lot of issues. I mean, a lot of issues. Not necessarily at your particular establishment.
Correct.
I'm just talking about places within
In general.
our city that cater to the special events. And we have tightened this down to where it works great for the business, but it also keeps in mind that we, like a business like yours, sits in a residential area. I mean, yeah, US 1's a business corridor, but you're surrounded by homes and folks who, they want to go to bed at night because they got to work the next day and things like that and all that type of stuff. So, you know, I would just tell you to one thing is, and I know you will, but I would just say be very mindful of what's happening through the entire course of your events. You got to stay on top of it. Your employees,
absolutely.
yeah, they got to stay on top of it. When the police department shows up, don't discount them that, man, they're just here to give us a hard time. They're not. It's because somebody is calling them, you know. And
We've been
so-
there for 63 days, and we've been at capacity probably 30% of that.
Right, yeah.
And we've had no problems. We've had
Yep.
no police officers. We've had no issues from day one.
Yep. I've been there.
And
So yeah, I know that, but we haven't had a special event yet, and I'm not suggesting you're going to have any issues.
Sure,
Please
absolutely.
Don't misunderstand me. But I started with the police department in 1989, and we could talk about stories all night long. And I just know that what works really, really well is when you work with us and we work with you. Because there's great lines of communication. Please keep those open, no matter what. And in some cases too, you got to be flexible. You got to be thinking on your feet. And this particular event's only 4 days,
Right.
You know, so but you know what? You think X number is going to show up tonight, and then 3 times that many people show up. You got a problem. At some point, you got your flag guys got to shut the parking down and flag people off and things like that. So. Those are good problems to have.
Yes,
but
we're
we gotta
looking
work
forward to
through
those
them, so.
problems.
But my point is to bring this back is that the ordinances, the noise levels, the time levels are from a history of us learning what fits in our community and really works best, yet gives the business owners an opportunity.
Well, and therefore, in the learning process, I think we give it a little bit longer and see how it goes. And that way, for when it comes Bike Week, we know that we can control that process from our side of it to help everyone else.
So I will tell you that in my mind, I would be willing to give you the extra hour on Friday and Saturday night.
And I'm fine with that.
Thursday night and Sunday night. I'm not there yet.
And so she talked about the dates of the 14th through the 17th. The actual dates of the event is actually Wednesday through Saturday.
Right.
You know, we're not even really Sunday. I'm hoping to be home by 7 o'clock at night.
Sure.
No, it's not going to happen, but
You'll still be serving brunch at 7 o'clock
I know.
at night.
Yeah.
You know, we first thought the idea of brunch was a great idea when we get done at 2:30 in the morning on
Yeah.
Saturday, and we're back there doing brunch at 7 in the morning. It's been a great idea. But no, I agree with you. I think Friday and Saturday night getting that extra thing, and whether it be just through this event, but moving forward, until it's a problem, let's see what we got. And I appreciate your understanding.
Any other questions for the
Oh,
applicant?
I want to also just say congratulations on purchasing the business here in
Thank
my
you.
district. I'm excited to have you guys there. I just want to point out that when this decision is made as far as when to do it, it's not just your business. Whatever we do is a precedent for other businesses and other areas of the city. I can think of one other place right now off the top of my head where they have noise complaints all the time because the music goes past 10 o'clock. And also, I'd point out that because of where you have residencies around, it's not just the commercial.
My house.
Yeah, it's not just the commercial decibel level that we have to look at, because what will happen is it'll actually be measured from the residential streets. So it's not just that you have to meet whatever the code says, which it looks like it's 55 after 10 o'clock for the decibel. You actually have to meet the 50 decibels, which is lower than even a normal conversation.
Correct.
People don't realize how quiet 50 decibels really is, but it's significantly lower than you'd imagine. Our conversation right now is probably 60, 65. And you can imagine a band playing. It just would be a challenge. And it has to, whatever we do for you has to be something we consider when we go forward.
And I think a
setting
lot of that is the
precedents.
different type of music and stuff that is played,
Yeah.
to where it becomes an issue. I mean, our music is a little more calm. It's a little more relaxing atmosphere. Our age group is not 20-year-old rock, hard people. Our demographics are from 30 to 70. Last Thursday night, we had 2 91-year-old ladies. They're dancing their heart away because that's what they wanted to do.
Awesome.
So, and I have a video of it. It was heartwarming. That the lady was with dementia, and she absolutely loved being there. So the music's obviously not too loud to blow them away, and that's and that's where we feel that we're keeping it a safe level. That to go that extra hour, is probably not even going to be noticed.
Yeah.
So.
Like I said, just wanted to point that out. I mean, for me, I'm always looking for ways we can be pro-business and how we can let you guys do what you can do to succeed.
Awesome, and I appreciate that.
How critical of it is it? How critical is that Thursday night? I mean, I'm much like the rest. I want to put you in a position to be as successful as possible, but I also get calls frequently in my area from other establishments about the music, about the noise, and it's because it's that late at night, and folks got to work the next morning. They got to
Agreed.
work on Friday. So I'm having a hard time with the weekday. I have no
I think
problem
10
with
o'clock
it
on the weeknights are wonderful during the regular time. Special events, motorcycles are so much louder than even our music's going to be. So yeah, during the event, a Thursday night would be great to go to 11 o'clock. Through the weekends, throughout the rest of the year, Again, our music is not that loud. It's not heart pounding. It's not waking up the neighbors. Because you said you're getting calls on other venues. We're not getting calls on our venue because we're keeping it at a level that, because we have that roof over our head. And if you have the music too loud in there, it will blow your head off. So we have it where it's, calm, and we try to keep it at a level that is still people can have conversations. But we do have an outside venue that is based upon live music. And that's what's bringing these people to Port Orange. I mean, you guys are driven by our parking lot on a Friday, Saturday, you can't get in. And if it was too loud and too obnoxious, they wouldn't come there.
Forgive me, but aren't you going to have an outdoor stage for this event?
We will.
Is that where the music will be, or will it be where the music?
The music in the daytime will be on the outside stage, and then we will move the nighttime into the inside of the bar.
Okay, just
Yep.
And that projects, if I'm kind of picturing that projects a different direction than the other stage.
It projects
would as well.
correctly. It projects into the
Into the
pavilion
building
area.
itself, yeah, and
Absolutely.
okay.
So outside, yes, I don't think that
Okay.
playing out there at 11 o'clock at night is in the best interest of the neighbors or anyone.
Gotcha.
It's amazing for
Thank you.
a group of 5 people who had almost no questions for you. We came up
Okay,
with a bunch.
perfect.
You're going to be up, yeah.
Thank you, Shane.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Shane.
Chase, you have one more question for staff?
Yeah, I need just like a refresher on how we do special events, and the reason I'm asking, because it's been a while since I've been in the position to ask about it, and coming still fresh off of Daytona's debacle from their special events. What do we do, when the public safety goes out and they checks and they investigate to say how it's going to impact what they do, what they need for security, what we're providing, whether we're stationing a police officer out front for traffic or whatever it is. Are we charging those event people for the man hours for our public safety? Because what I don't want to do is charge taxpayers for a private event.
Correct. Penelope Cruz Planning. So when an applicant submits a special event, it gets routed to all staff for review, including planning, Parks and Rec, police, fire, code enforcement, public works, the whole team that is a special event team. So everybody goes through the process and reviews for their areas. As part of the submittal, the package includes a form for a police special detail if they need that. We clarify if they haven't filled that out to ask, is this something that you're going to need? Because we saw you didn't fill this out, or are you going to need to rent barricades, et cetera? And so we help them through that process. And so if they're going to need police, for example, this event filled out the form for the police special detail. That form includes the hourly rates for however many officers they're going to need. In this event, they allocated 1 officer, and they had the hourly rate there. So yes,
The people that run the event pay for that officer.
correct.
Okay.
Correct. And then if there's any other resources as far as like barricades, cones, things like that are needed, for example, for some of the marathon events and things like that, there's a fee schedule that they have to pay for that.
And I'm not just asking for this particular event. I want to make sure we're consistent all across the board. I thought that was the case, but I just wanted to clarify.
Any other questions of staff?
And I did want to just clarify, if you are going to, in your motion, modify the time frame, I do also want to just clarify, because of the statement that was made, the application that was submitted was for an event from Thursday to Sunday. That is what is in your packet. If the applicant is now asking for an event to start on Wednesday, that would have to be something that the council would have to approve and modify the motion, because he stated that the event is not Thursday through Sunday, that it's actually Wednesday through.
Yeah, I think he was talking about the
chamber.
greater Daytona area.
The greater
of it.
Daytona area is Thursday through Sunday.
that's fine.
Yeah, so that's why I
Well,
just want to clarify that
yeah,
that's what the event is. in
But
your
I don't think he
packet.
was asking for a Wednesday start. I think he was,
No, we're going to be still open on Wednesday as normal.
oh, of course.
Yeah, so,
Okay.
from the special event side, it doesn't change Wednesday at all.
Thursday
Okay.
through,
He's asked about
Okay.
Sunday will be shut down anyway.
Okay.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure
Thank
that
you.
make sure everything
Matt?
gets approved and everybody's on.
Matt, could you just reiterate what you said at the outset?
Yeah, so, and it's actually spelled out, if you look at, so there are conditions, some of these are standard as required by your code, but there are a series of conditions listed in your agenda package tonight, and number 6 speaks exactly to the point I was making, just to make it clear to council that even if you're extending from 10 p.m. to 11 for outdoor bands, which we have not done previously, you are still, as a condition, having this vendor, having this applicant comply with Chapter 42, which is your noise regulations. Those noise regulations after 10 p.m. drop significantly. So if it can be done, then great, but I'm just letting you know that that's going to be a situation where there will be calls at some point, and the PD will enforce the ordinance that's on the books. So I just want to make that clear as we're going into this.
Okay. Scott, you're on the verge of making a motion. You want to go ahead and make it?
Sure.
Something along the lines of approving the
Sure.
staff recommendations with the following modifications?
Yep. Recommend motion to approve item 14, special event request for Daytona's original first turn, although I'd like you to change that to Port Orange first turn. But with the change of a time extension for Friday and Saturday night to 11 p.m.
Second.
Yeah. We have a motion, proper second.
Just for outside music within accordance of the
And accepting all other staff recommendations?
Yeah,
Okay.
all those staff recommendations.
I second that as well.
We have a motion, we have a proper second. Final comments, council? There, I will make one before. It's has nothing to do with this, and you guys can do what you want. But there's one that is about 1.5 miles from my house that I know that my next door neighbor is going to be asking me to call at 10:05 p.m. So I have to be consistent.
Just go to bed, and then you don't have to call.
No. If I go to bed, he'll be waking me up. So
No.
just
Don't
saying.
answer.
So we have a motion, proper second. Any other comments or
City attorney.
questions?
Just, did we, I'm not sure if we called for public comment. Just want to make sure we check that box too.
Oh, I don't think we did.
No, we did not.
Now's your time.
We did not do that
There
at
we
the
go.
outset with the consent agenda. Anyone here care to speak to the item? There being none, call the roll.
Councilmember Foley,
Yes.
Thank you, Matt.
Councilmember Tremont.
Yes.
Councilmember Stiltner.
Yes.
Vice Mayor Bastian.
Yes.
Mayor Burnett.
No. 4-1. Do it right.
Best of luck to you guys.
Counting on you. Citizen participation non-agenda. Robin, did I have any?
Oh, yeah.
G.
Reading your mind?
Yeah, so I got you, I got Jane, I got people pestering me. They want to hear from you guys. Who's in charge of this wonderful leadership group?
Oh, we
Good
know
evening,
her.
gentlemen. Kristen Johansson, Port Orange. I'm with the Port Orange South Daytona Chamber of Commerce Leadership Steering Committee. And I would like this opportunity to introduce the leadership class of 2021, which we have present with us tonight. A series of emerging leaders within our business community here in Port Orange, taking time for the next 10 weeks, 9 weeks, to, okay, we've had 3 already, right? I'm sorry, we've had 3 already, 6 to go, learning about our community and leadership techniques to become good community citizens.
All right, now that you're standing, y'all got to come up one by one, tell us who you are and what you do, and you can go back to your seat.
Sorry about that. I tried to get him not to do that.
Yeah. Hey,
Not
at
a
lea-
chance.
At least I'm not going to ask you what your GPA was.
Good evening, everybody. My name is Gino Girola. I work at Tanger Outlets in Daytona Beach. I am the office manager there.
Okay.
Awesome.
I'll move along.
Nice to meet you,
Well
Jim.
done.
Good evening, Council and Mayor. My name is Josh McEnany, City of South Daytona, Code Compliance Manager.
Awesome.
Hi, Amy Zangotita, City of South Daytona Parks and Recreation Director.
Welcome.
She's got the fun job.
I'm Laretha Simon. I am a chiropractic assistant for Dr. Anissa Ferris. Her business is Helping Hands Family Chiropractic in the beautiful city of South Daytona, Florida.
Excellent.
Nice.
Hi, I'm Lane Crooks. I work with my husband at Garrick's Associates. We're an employee leasing business, and I'm happy to be here.
Welcome.
So Frank, I said, hey.
Hi, I'm Alexis Abraham. I'm with WB Mason. I am the Product and Specialties Manager.
Awesome.
Hello, I am Nikki Vigil. I'm an administrative assistant at Minton House.
Welcome.
I am Erin Hassler. I am a senior client advisor at Seacoast Bank in Port Orange.
Awesome.
Hi, I'm Heather Prossi, and I'm a Resource Development Manager at United Way of Volusia-Flagler Counties.
I haven't seen you in about 7 or 8 hours now.
Good evening, everybody. My name is Arlene Calderon, and I am the Supply Chain Director at Advent Health New Smyrna Beach.
Awesome.
We know her.
Hi, Mayor, Council. I'm Kat Atwood, and I'm just a community member.
Congratulations and good luck to you all. And I can't wait to see you all at graduation.
Oh, thank you.
Where's the WB Mason? Y'all's trucks look like it's a magician's truck up in Carnival.
Yeah.
Circus truck, yeah. I get excited when I see it.
All right.
I think there's a magician in there or something. I'm gonna see some magic.
You just hear me.
Yeah.
Guys, you're in the background. Smile and be happy.
Thank you.
Wonderful.
All right.
Has
Carry
Kat
on.
has Kat Atwood been bringing baking goods to all the sessions? Ooh.
Oh.
Her letter grade just fell.
Well, we're to the council comments section of the meeting. I think Scott just made his.
All right.
Scott, what else you got tonight?
Just a couple of quick items. I just want to say a special thank you to all of the Family Days Port Orange Community Trust team, our city staff, volunteers, everybody that helps to put on a fabulous Family Days event. Great event. It's been a long time since we really saw the full effect of an event like that in our community. Great weather. Some really great folks out there. It was really nice just to get out there and see a lot of people that maybe you don't see from time to time unless we have an event in the city center campus area. And so just a special thank you to all of those folks. It takes a lot of planning, a lot of coordination, a lot of volunteers to pull something like that off, and they did a fabulous job with that. And then lastly, I just want to mention for those that haven't had a chance to go down, the Down Under area in the River District, which is what we refer to under the east side of the Port Orange Bridge. We've had a lot of business owners recently really make some great investments in that area down there. And so I encourage folks to go down there and check out what's going on. Friday night I was down there for a grand opening of a new business called Dunes Brewery, and the whole Down Under area had just a really different feel, a really great community, fun atmosphere feel.
More to come.
And every business down there was doing great. A lot of folks at the Dairy Bar, the Dunes Brewery, Our Deck, Jimmy Hula's. You've got the construction and renovation going on at DJ's Deck, which I believe all that stuff's been permitted. Is that right, Wayne? Yeah, all their stuff's been permitted. So they're moving towards getting all of that back up and running. I will say this about that business: they may have the best sunset view in all of Port Orange. And it was interesting watching people, the business not even open, but people walking down to that little section where that sun's setting over the background of all the commercial fishing fleet that's there and all that. So, and then of course, Two Jerks Seafood has made a great investment in their business down there. And they provide not only a place for locals to go purchase direct, but also provide for a lot of the restaurants in the area. So I encourage everybody to pay attention. There's more to come, a lot of stuff going on, but you can really start to see a different look down there and a different feel. So that's all I got.
Good stuff. Drew?
I had my chance earlier. I'm good.
Yeah, you did.
I took
That
way
was
too much
great.
time.
Chase?
Yeah, I'll, two things. Number one, to follow up on Scott's comment, I also want to echo the wonderful job run by Family Days and Parks and Rec for the Family Days event. Just a fabulous time. It's one of those events that make a big city into a community. You kind of you shrink it down a little bit, and when you get to really experience the personal side of the community that we have. So phenomenal time. The second thing I'd like to request, if I could, Wayne, if Parks and Rec at some point, it doesn't have to be anytime soon, but I'd like to see, we're making a tremendous investment into our rec center, hiring a lot of new staff, and a lot of massive renovation. I'd just like a refresher and an education to the public exactly what's going to be happening over there, in addition to not just the presentation of the facility, but the programs that are going to be offered and how that's going. I know we've done that in the past before, but while it's fresh from the budget and folks have been asking about what we're going to see over there, what services are going to be offered, who's it going to be, what needs is it going to be meeting, what age groups are going to be benefiting from it, things of that nature. So at some point, I'd like to see a presentation of that.
Anything else? Jonathan?
Scott's been hanging out in my district. Very, very excited about everything going on over there in District 1. I got to go to the ribbon cutting today for Dunes and check that out, and really cool what they've done with that building and how they've set that up, and just love seeing it. Also excited to have you guys. I know we didn't really comment on it, but it's good to have y'all here. The mayor, I know, was up before I was on Wednesday last week and had a chance to kind of talk to you guys and answer some questions. But it's always wonderful to see people that want to get involved and be active members of their community. I love to see it. It's great having you guys here, and it was an honor to come be a part of that on Wednesday. But good on you guys for becoming active and getting involved. Awesome. Appreciate that.
I was going to mention that there are a lot of common elements every year that they do leadership, but there are also some unique things that come out of every single leadership class, and I'm curious to see what comes out of this one. So each class that you have has got its own personality, and it's a very wonderful and cool thing to see. So appreciate y'all being here tonight.
You ought to come back when we have like a zoning change next to a neighborhood.
Yeah.
That's fun.
Get here early and fill the seats.
Yeah, get here early so all the seats are taken too.
With that, the public hearing portion of the meeting is now open. Item 18, second reading of ordinance number 2021-22, the Port Orange Communications and Right-of-Way Agreement. Ordinance number 2021-22 is an ordinance of the City of Port Orange, Florida, amending the Code of Ordinances of the City of Port Orange by amending Chapter 58, Article 4, Sections 58 through 70, 58 through 80, known as the Port Orange Communications Right-of-Way Ordinance, providing intent and purpose, applicability, and authority to implement, providing definitions, providing for registration for placing and maintaining communications facilities in public rights of way, providing requirements of a permit, providing for application requirements and proof of procedures and review of procedures, providing for bonds, providing for construction methods, providing for development and objective design standards, providing for fees and taxes, providing for enforcement remedies, providing for severability, providing for codification, and providing for conflicts, and providing for an effective date.
That was a lot, man. Move to approve ordinance number 2021-22.
I'll second. Could you? I missed. Can you read that one? I'll
No,
second.
no, you read it in your council prep this weekend. That's enough. We have a motion, proper second. The item's up on the floor for a discussion. Second reading. Council comments or questions? There being none, would anyone here care to speak to the item? There being none, back to us. Final comments, council. Call the roll.
Councilmember Foley.
Yes.
Councilmember Tremont.
Yes.
Councilmember Stiltman.
Yes.
Vice Mayor Bastian.
Yes.
Mayor Burnett.
No. 4-1. Same thing I said last time. I don't like the state telling us how to run our city.
True.
That's what we're elected to do. Item 19 is second reading of ordinance number 2021-25, amendment of the Port Orange Town Center Community Redevelopment Plan. Ordinance number 2021-25 is an ordinance of the City of Port Orange, Volusia County, Florida, relating to community redevelopment, amending community redevelopment area plan for Port Orange Town Center and the Riverwalk Plan Community Concept Development Plan, repealing conflicting ordinances and resolutions, providing for severability, and providing for an effective date.
Move to approve ordinance number 2021-25.
Second.
We have a motion, proper second. The item's open on the floor for discussion. Second reading. Council comments or questions? There being none, would anyone here care to speak to the item? There being none, final comments? Call the roll.
Councilmember Foley.
Yes.
Councilmember Tremont.
Yes.
Councilmember Stiltner.
Yes.
Vice Mayor Basham.
Yes.
Mayor Burnett.
Yes, 5-0. Gets me to item 20. Item 20 is ordinance number 21-26, the Land Development Code Amendment, Chapters 2, 17, and 18. Ordinance number 2021-26, an ordinance of the City of Port Orange, Volusia County, Florida, amending the Land Development Code by amending Section 2 of Chapter 2 relating to definitions, amending Chapters 17 and 18 relating to Riverwalk Overlay District, and the planned commercial Riverwalk zoning district regulations for the purpose of supporting redevelopment efforts in the Riverwalk area, amending the boundary of the Riverwalk Overlay District, providing for conflicting ordinances, providing for severability, and providing for an effective date.
Move to approve ordinance number 2021-26, amending chapters 2, 17, and 18 of the Land Development Code as recommended by the Planning Commission and Port Orange Town Center, CRA.
Second.
I have a motion for second reading. Council, the item is open on the floor for discussion. There being none, anyone here care to speak to the item? There being none, final comments? Call the roll.
Councilmember Foley.
Yes.
Councilmember Tremont.
Yes.
Councilmember Stiltner.
Yes.
Vice Mayor Basham.
Yes.
Mayor Burnett.
Yes, 5-0. And just for those watching, if it seems like we're moving at warp speed on something, it's because we've had readings and workshops and CRA meetings, and it's been discussed ad nauseum, so here we are. Item 21 is first reading of ordinance number 2021-24. Ordinance number 2021-24 is an ordinance of the City of Port Orange, Volusia County, Florida, amending the comprehensive plan by creating a new property rights element in accordance with section 163.3177-6I of the Florida statutes, providing for conflicting ordinances, severability, and an effective date.
Move to approve ordinance number 2021-24.
Second.
We have a motion, proper second. The item is open and on the floor for discussion. First reading.
Penelope-
Welcome back.
Penelope Cruz Planning. Basically, just what was said in the ordinance reading. It's a property rights element that is being added, a new element to our city's comprehensive plan, in compliance with House Bill 59, which was part of this most recent legislative session this summer. The language that's in the element is word for word from the model language from the state. It's what most of the cities around the state are adopting, and it doesn't really create any new impacts or anything for the residents of Port Orange. It's basically to document at the local level that property rights are to be considered in local decision making, in addition to existing protections in state and federal law.
Council, comments or questions on that? Well, I'll go ahead and make a comment. I understand what the state is trying to do. I understand that developers have property rights, and I need not be reminded of that because it's ingrained in our Constitution. Anybody who owns property has rights. And this is one more time when we really don't have a choice, but the state of Florida is telling us to do our job and respect the property rights of developers. And I resent the hell out of it. But that's my comment. Anyone here care to speak to the item?
Maybe the city attorney could weigh in on what happens when municipalities don't follow that and respect the rights of property owners, landowners, because this seems to come up a lot.
Mm-hmm.
But it's an area of this process that I think this group would find very interesting because we hear all the time, well, just say no and don't let them build something. There's a cost for that.
Yeah, once a property is zoned for a particular use and they bring it to you for an approval that's consistent with that zoning, you really, as a city council, don't really have a lot of latitude to stray from that zoning. There's a title that I don't like to say a whole lot, but it's the Berkshire Harris Act, and that's one that creates a private cause of action for a property owner in the event that the city does, whether intentionally or unintentionally, take a property, and those takings can be very expensive. Not only are we required to provide just compensation, but many times it's going to be attorney's fees on top of that, which can be very costly. These are all concepts that we know about. They're already statutory. This puts it in a comp plan. I think it's a little overkill. This is something we always consider at the staff level. When we're reviewing as attorneys, we're looking at this and we're always providing that guidance. So this kind of codifies what we're doing, but something that we already have on the radar.
Okay.
And just a comment to that, for an example, we're working our way through a process right now on a piece of property that is privately owned that wants to be developed, and the zoning on that, I believe, goes back to 1982, which would have been 12. So that's just an example of, if you can imagine in 1982 or 84 or 86 or whatever, when some of these properties were zoned or given their future land use zonings many decades ago, way before anybody was sitting up on this dais, maybe anybody in this room. Now we have to work within that frame, and so we have to try to work within that and provide the best product we possibly can.
Sometimes there are compromises that can be made, but
yeah,
for the most part, they have rights.
And just for point on that, Mayor, that's a great. We have had those types of issues come before us, where the developer feels like they can provide an overall better product if we want to allow some changes. And the community has said very loudly no, and so we have said no, and then they get what they get, and then they're not happy with that. So it's weird or interesting, not really weird, but it's interesting how that works, because sometimes when we send it back and the council says no, we're not going to grant those changes or whatever the land use is what you can do within, and then the community may not be so happy with the product that they end up with. So there's a lot involved in that, and just an interesting point. Okay, man.
Council, any other comments? Anyone here care to speak to the item? There being none, back to us. Final comments, council? I think we killed that bird pretty good. Call the roll.
Councilmember Foley.
Yes.
Councilmember Tremont.
Yes.
Councilmember Stiltner.
Yes.
Vice Mayor Baxter.
Yes.
Mayor Burnett.
Yes, reluctantly. 5-0. That brings us to item 22. Item 22, the recommended motion is to approve the subdivision plat for the Palms at Ashton Lake subdivision. May I have such a motion?
Move to approve the subdivision plat for the Palms at Ashton Lake subdivision.
Second.
We have a motion, proper second. Items open on the floor for discussion. Have I seen you before somewhere?
Not at all. Penelope Cruz Planning. So the property before you is a little over 18 acres. It was approved, the planned commercial development, master development agreement for the Palms at Ashton Lake was approved a couple years ago. And as part of that approval, it foreshadowed the concept plan had this exact lot layout, and all the provisions for this to happen today. And so this is just the next step, following through with the already approved zoning on the property to subdivide the property into these two lots. The first lot is the larger area. That's the Palms at Ashton Lakes assisted living facility. It also has the majority of all the common infrastructure and the conservation area in that. And then lot 2 would be for a future out parcel, which there's no tenant at this point identified.
Okay. Council comments or questions? Benny, that lot 2 would still maintain the same zoning. We're not doing it?
Correct.
Okay. And it's a commercial zoning currently?
Correct.
Okay.
And it meets the dimensional requirements, everything that was laid out in the PCD when it was approved.
And of course, anything that gets proposed there is going to need to be approved at a later date.
Yes, it would have to come through the Staff Development Review Committee for a site plan at that time and go through, meet all the requirements of the Land Development Code, Master Development Agreement, and our concurrency requirements.
Okay. Anyone here care to speak to the item? Council, final comments or questions?
Just a short comment, real quick, is that this is a particular piece of property that many years ago, the previous property owner, who also happens to be a builder developer in our area, offered to do a kind of an upper scale residential gated private apartment complex. And the residents said, no, we don't want that. And they said, well, you make sure you know that that property's commercial zoned. So if we don't do this, you're gonna get a commercial project, and that's exactly what has happened here.
That is very true. Any other comments or questions? Call the roll.
Councilmember Foley,
Yes.
Councilmember Tremont,
Yes.
Councilmember Silver,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Boston,
Yes.
Mayor Burnett.
Yes, 5-0. The public hearing portion of the meeting is open, or is now closed. Additional items, city attorney.
Nothing further?
Excellent report, thank you. City manager? I know you got something.
I do. We're going to have Jamie Miller, who's our deputy city manager, brief you on this.
I did not hear the word intern before her title.
That is correct.
Congratulations.
Well done.
Now get to work.
Thank you, Mayor and Council. Jamie Miller, Deputy City Manager. Again, he mentioned that I will be briefing you, so hopefully I will be brief today. This is just a report, no action for you tonight. Wanted to bring before you that we were approached by the Volusia County staff about the idea of a universal pet license. So what this is for dogs, cats, ferrets, after they receive their rabies vaccination, proof of having that license. This is something that each city or municipality has their own license, and the county is proposing that we have a county-wide program. This is something that we considered in 2005, but the county decided not to move forward at that time. So they are reconsidering this, but before moving forward, they want to ensure that they have enough interest from the cities in participating in this program. So staff has reviewed with our animal control staff their proposed program. It's very similar to our program. It would simply be they would be doing the tags, having a more universal database of information so that we can collect things. And we also believe that they have more resources to put towards championing, making sure we have compliance with people having their tags. So we do believe that this is a program that we would find value in. It's a very small program for us locally. We have very low compliance. It's not a lot of revenue for us. So we're hoping with the county power behind this, that increased compliance will lead to faster reunification of pets to if they get separated, which we are suspecting will also have a reduction in our shelter fees. So this does not impact our ability to enforce the requirement for a pet license in our city. So our animal control staff would still be able to enforce our rules. So there is no action before you tonight. Just wanted to brief you on this because we do anticipate to indicate support of moving towards a county-wide program, but wanted to make sure that there were no concerns from the council before we indicated that support. If the county ends up approving this program, we would bring back a modification to our ordinance, which would indicate that we adhere to the county program.
Well, let me ask this question of council. Certainly we're talking about compliance, continuity, and consistency. Is anyone opposed to us exploring this?
Makes sense to me.
Yeah,
Seems
I'm,
like
I'm
we-
not opposed to exploring it. I just
Okay.
want to hear more, but
Absolutely.
certainly open to it.
Yeah, open-minded.
I think we have a consensus to go and explore.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Wayne, do you have anything else?
Sure, that's all.
Okay. City Council Committee reports, River to CTPO.
I wasn't able to attend the meeting this week, but as soon as I get the minutes, I'll give you guys an update on what's going on there, if there was anything that we need to be aware of.
Very good. General Employees Pension Plan.
Pension plan, we met last week. The plan continues to do very, very well. End of August 31st, the plan was at $43,293,000. So really a solid year. Jeff Swanson let us know that he, once the final numbers are in for the end of the fiscal year, he believes we're going to fall just over that 20% on return for this year. So really, really a solid year. We're continuing to have some discussions on how to properly adjust the assumed rate of return and where we need to be with that in the best interest of the plan, as well as for the taxpayers that provide the security for that plan. So, but good meeting.
Can't wait to see the final fiscal year reports for all the pension plans.
Yeah,
It was a-
I think
it was a roller coaster year, but a good one for most of them.
Yeah, it's interesting, right? Because I think ultimately, it's kind of surprising to me with everything going on globally and economically that the plans did really good this year. So.
Okay. Any other business come before us this evening? There being none, let me raise the gavel and say to everybody, have a good night.